Hello, I'm Tony Mitra, and I was asked by Kevin Proteau of Penticton, BC, if I had a comment on the issue of spraying glyphosate over our forests. There's a long-term thing going on in British Columbia, in New Brunswick, and a lot of activities there on this. So Kevin Proteau was asking if the same thing might be happening in British Columbia as well, and if I had anything to say. And I decided to talk into a camera to record what I had to say. First of all, BC has been using glyphosate over its forest for decades. I had made a Freedom of Information request to the British Columbia government to let me know how much by weight of glyphosate has been sprayed year upon year over British Columbia forests by Logging Corporation and approved by the government till date, from the beginning till date. I learned that, number one, glyphosate is routinely used for many years. Number two, the details are neither completely held by the Ministry of Forest Management nor the Ministry of Environment, but in only bits and pieces here and there. As a result, they could not give me any answer to they could not give me a complete answer of what I asked for, but they did say that if I was prepared to dole out more money, because they would need man hours to satisfy my question, then they could try to help me out, since the request needs much more man hours than stipulated and would require the government to write to all the logging corporations who might have better records to furnish the information so that it can be tallied and tabulated by the government officials and then given to me. I was asked to pay multiple hundreds of dollars, almost approaching $1,000. I refused to pay that money, but settled to give an additional about $100 for them to do some minimal amount of work over and above what is stipulated as free under the Freedom of Information Act. And they gave me a sketchy, minute snapshot of some glyphosate used here and there, mostly by hand application with a backpack, and not aerial spray, which used much more than hand applications. They did not have the detail of it. And that's what I got. So, to answer the question to some extent, I would say in two parts. A, yes, glyphosate is routinely used in British Columbian forests. And B, nobody knows how much of it has been sprayed. The government is not keeping any tab of it, and it hopes that the logging corporations might have all the records of it going back 20-30 years, and that if somebody pays a lot of money, they are willing to ask the logging corporation. This is the state of affairs in British Columbia. On a separate request, again to the British Columbian government, I had asked, again under the Freedom of Information Act, to be shown what document it had seen that glyphosate was at all safe to be used over BC forests from the point of view of forest ecosystem and wildlife. I only got a vague answer that the product was approved by Health Canada in Ottawa. So to answer that part of the question, I would say that nobody in the BC government has ever seen any evidence that glyphosate is at all safe to be sprayed over our forests. And since Health Canada, as far as I know, has never conducted nor cited any test on effects of glyphosate on environment, and has only presumably seen tests of glyphosate in mammalian food, which it refuses to disclose to the people anyway, that there has not been any test seen by anybody in Canada, and as far as I know, by anybody anywhere else on the planet either that glyphosate is at all safe to be sprayed over anybody's forests for the point of view of sustainability of that forest, of our biological diversity, our flora and fauna, our wildlife, and our environment. Thank you.